I welcome you to today's session of Let's Talk Sickle Cell Disease, dubbed Sickle Cell and Stigmatization. So before I introduce my panelists to you, I wish to share my screen as a way of introducing you to today's discussion. So I'm coming to share my screen. Yes, here we go. I hope you can see my screen. So please, let's be interactive. Drop all your questions.
Yes,
Drop all your questions in the chat box as you progress, and we will attend to them. And then ensure also that you mute your microphone when you are not talking. So you only unmute when making a contribution. So for the benefit of those who don't know much about sickle cell disease, where's my next slide? Yes. So sickle cell disease is an inherited red blood cell disorder that occurs due to a mutation in the hemoglobin gene. And then stigmatization is an action of describing or regarding someone or something as worthy of disgrace or great disapproval. So the stigmatized are ostracized, devalued, scorned, shunned, and ignored. Okay, I'll come back to this. Now, I'll introduce my panelists, but then I would like you to introduce yourselves. I'll start from the gentleman, Isaac. Isaac, you can introduce yourself now.
okay. Please, my name is Isaac Tete.
Okay, would you like to share a bit about yourself? So you can
Okay,
introduce yourself in 1 minute or 30 seconds.
okay. My name is Isaac Tete. I work with the Barbados Eye Commission as a supervisor. Also,
Okay, welcome on board, Isaac.
thank you.
Then, Enyimuyam.
Joanna Enyunyam Ahin, currently in Cape Coast. I'm a journalist and an administrator.
Okay, nice to have you on the panel, Enyimuyam.
Thank you.
Christiana.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Christian. I'm a teacher by profession. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome, Christiana. We are yet to have Lois join us. We're checking on her, and then we'll give you updates if she's able to join. So we'll start. The first question I'll ask goes to Isaac, the gentleman. So Isaac, share with us, how has stigmatization affected your life?
Okay, for me, stigmatization has affected my life so much, even in the school and then at church too. In the school, people see you as you are not part of the world. You are from your own world, and then the church has to comfort you too. The church has given up. So I see it to be a painful thing.
Okay. Okay, so Enyimuyam,
Yeah.
you think stigmatization has affected your self-esteem in any way?
Okay. I'm in for my nephew and nieces, and it has really affected the whole family at large. My boy, for instance, is in senior high, Form 2. And recently, he has not been going to school. We've tried every means, not knowing it's because of stigmatization. That's why he doesn't want to be back in the classroom again. So it has really dealt with us.
Okay, I'll follow up questions will come and then you will give me
Sure.
details, the kind of
Sure.
stigmatization that they face at school. Okay.
Sure. All right.
Let me go to Christiana. Christiana, do you think stigmatization can be stopped in our community?
I'm not sure. Can't, like, we can reduce it.
You can reduce it.
Sure.
Okay. All right. So, Isaac, I want to come back to you. You mentioned how you face stigma in church and at school. So I want to ask you to share a story about a time you felt stigmatized and what you did.
A time I felt stigmatized and what I did.
Yes.
Okay, for me, I try to fight it very hard, but as at now, I still feel the pain in certain area, going to church and stuff. So I try to hide myself for not to be stigmatized.
But can you share a story of an instance where you feel stigmatized?
Okay, for I'll say where I feel stigmatized Moses is at church. People see you as you're not of the word, and for me, I don't get close to people. So in certain way, I feel stigmatized for myself.
Okay. So to avoid being stigmatized, you decide not
Yeah,
to.
not to go close to people.
Okay. So, Enyimuyam, how
Uh-huh.
do you prevent or protect your young ones? You said you have a sister or a child,
A niece and a
a niece.
nephew. Yeah.
Okay. How do you protect them from being stigmatized?
Okay. First of all, if you know how it is going, you have an upper hand on what to tell them or what to say. But in a situation whereby you don't know, that's when it becomes a problem. You see them very quiet, whatever they used to do that brings them happiness, they used to stop. Then when it happens like that, it becomes very difficult. But when you know, with my niece, everything she will come and tell you, Ma, this person say this, auntie, this person say that. So you try to encourage them. You try to put in some self-esteem in them. They may be different from the other child, but they are who they are. If you're able to talk to them, it builds their self-confidence. But when you don't know and you are not able to tackle the issue, that's where the problem starts.
Okay. Okay. Christiana, how do you do in your own way to overcome stigmatization?
Okay. when I was a kid, I didn't experience it that much. So I was using the aggressive means, and my brother was protecting me. So I didn't feel it. But when I grew up, I think when you told me that you are this, I tried to get to do something better than you. Then you get something else to talk about, not the disease, but something else about me to talk about.
Okay. Okay, that's good. So, Isaac, how do you deal with stigmatization at the workplace?
Okay, I try to make people know that this is my condition and how I can cope with them, but not to stigmatize me.
Okay. So I'm going to repeat the same question for Enimuyam. How do you deal with stigma at the workplace?
Okay, for me, if I'm with you, I have a condition you don't have. The condition prevents me to do certain things or hinder my capability of doing certain things. And that doesn't stop me from doing what I'm supposed to do at the workplace. I do everything equally with you. You cannot, there is no way you can bring me down. So far as I see, we are on equal form as in working. You can't bring that to me. So to me, I've I've made up my mind, or I've had something in me that so far as I can cope with everything you are doing, I can do or match you with it. I'm okay. You can't stigmatize me on anything.
Okay, same question for Christiana. How do you deal with stigma at school?
Okay, to me, sometimes I educate you about it. Sometimes, if I see that you don't want to listen, then I cut all ties with you. It's just good morning, that's all.
Okay, that's right. So, Isaac, do you think organizations such as Sickle Life can help reduce stigmatization?
Yes, please.
What can we do?
By campaigning more, talking to people on how to minimize the stigmatization of sickle cell.
Okay, Enimuyam, how can Sickle Life help to reduce stigmatization?
Yeah, through education, because I here have done that before. Growing up, we didn't know what was going on. I had a cousin, may his soul rest in perfect peace. We didn't know what was wrong with him, but looking at the treatment he was receiving, he was meant not to do anything. To us, he was being treated as a prince. So because we didn't know what was going on, we were always calling him names. The least opportunity we get, we make sure we beat him. Because to us, we think he was being treated like he is more human than us or he is superior to us. So if you don't know what it entails, you don't have any idea of it, you tend to say all sorts of things about the person. You tend to discriminate, stigmatize, do all sorts of things. But if education goes out, if we campaign, we let people know how it is, the kind of image or the kind of scar it leaves with the person when we stigmatize, I think it will come down. So it's through education and campaign.
Okay, thank you, Enimuyam. Christiana, What can every individual do right in order to avoid stigmatizing others? Christian, are you there?
Yeah, hello. Edela,
Yes, should I repeat the question?
I heard you.
Okay.
I think to those living with sickle cell disease, you need to know more about it, because sometimes you get out there, someone stigmatized you and you have no idea about it. You just accept it, whatever they are saying, then you move on. I can't remember, I went for some scans and other things, and the lady saw the paper and she said, hey, you were a sickler. So I just told her, I'm not a sickler, I'm a teacher. I'm just living with it. So those living with SCD, you need to know more about it, know how it affects you, and know what to do right. Then to those not living with SCD, I think we need to find out why they do stigmatize. Then we tackle it from there. People do it out of their own negativity. Others because they don't know. And others is intentional. They want to see how you react to it. So if they don't know, then we must educate them. And some of them is based on their superstitious beliefs and other things. So whatever it is, you need to educate them. Education is everything. Thank you.
Thank you to Christiana. Isaac, do you
Yes,
think
please.
people in higher authority can help in combating stigmatization?
Yeah, I think people in high authority can help do that by sickle cell life educating the people in high authority.
Okay, so they also need education.
Yes, please.
Okay, let me throw the same question to anyone. Do you think people in higher authority can help in combating stigmatization?
Yes, but before I answer this question, let me talk about the question you threw to Christiana on
Okay,
what people can do to reduce the
what
stigma.
every individual can do
Every
right.
individual. If you see your fellow human as a friend, as a brother, when you show love, when you have love and compassion, you won't do anything to bring pain on anyone. My late grandmom didn't know what her grandson was going through, but because of the love she has for him, he was always showing him love, always trying to protect him, always doing anything that the boy will not get sick, always trying to let him know, no matter what the world see, no matter what the world say, even if anyone is against him, she is there for him. So with this, if you love your fellow human as yourself, you care about someone, you won't inflict pain on the person, and that stigmatization will reduce. So the key word here is love. And to those in higher authority, yes, they can. The celebrities, those in office, those who hold high offices, the presidency, the ministers, when everyone come on board, we are good to go. Because when they use their office to educate people, it goes places, it goes far rather than an individual doing it. So if they come on board and help, I think it will reduce drastically.
Okay, thank you. Christiana, would you also like to speak on this same question?
No.
Okay, so let me give you a fresh question. How difficult is it for people living with sickle cell disease to handle stigma? How difficult is it?
It's really a difficult situation, especially when you didn't know. You go to certain stage and you find out this is who I am. This is what I have to live for the rest of my life. It's really difficult. Sometimes you just sit down and ask yourself, why you? Why do you have to go through all this pain? Maybe you just ask, if not this, I would have been doing this, I would have gone this way, but because of this, I'm stuck maybe at where I didn't want to, because maybe you can't do certain things above what you are supposed to do. For my boy, like instance, he went to school. When he was going to SHS, that we went to do some tests and we found out that he has a sickle cell disease. And at first, he just couldn't understand. He just, whatever that you tell this boy, he just did. So what he started doing was, whatever that he was asked not to do, that was what he was doing. Don't wear sleeveless shirts like singlet in cold places. That's what he was doing. Don't do this. That's what he was doing. Take your drugs. He won't take. He was just like, he said he doesn't see the need to. Then now he went to visit a friend and he heard a friend's mother telling the boy he doesn't know why they are pushing so much resource on him. A sickler like him, he will die soon. By the age of 18, 19, watch 25, he will die. He heard it, he came home, didn't tell anyone, and because of that, he decided not to go to school again. He decided not to do anything again because they are just wasting things on him. So for someone to accept and live with it, it's really a hard decision, and it takes the grace and the will to live. Seriously, it's really hard.
Thank you, Emilia. Isaac,
Yes,
how difficult has it been for you to handle stigma?
for me, it has been a difficult task since right day one. People see me in church and then call you like Ochinam Ubewu, like tomorrow you are going to die. So it has been a difficult task for me to handle it.
So does that make you stop going to church sometimes?
No. I go to my church, do my work. Actually, I'm in the multimedia group, do my work. When I finish my work, I come home.
Okay. Okay, so you don't allow the stigma to limit you.
No, please.
Okay. Christiana, do you think the government has a role to play in reducing the stigma associated with sickle cell disease?
Sure, I think so.
What can the government do?
For instance, if there are policies backing it, like there are numerous policies, and other things, people with disabilities are being supported. So not necessarily giving them money, but at least enrolling some of the things on health insurance and other things could help, so that the nurses and other health workers will see the need to attend to people living with sickle cell urgently. Sometimes you go to the hospital. I can't remember. I went to a hospital and I was in pain, not that severe, but I end up getting more severe crisis at the hospital. I was in a queue waiting for someone to attend to. And you're complaining of pain. It's not swelling, nothing shows, and you are in there. So if there are policies backing it and at least some facilities being established for people living with sickle cell alone, not just going to the general hospitals like how we've been moving around. If there is a facility dealing with people living with sickle cell alone, when you get there, they know that definitely you are living with it and they'll know how to treat you better. But here lies the case, we mingle with everyone and that's it. So I think good policies can help.
Okay, thank you. Enyumunyam, would you like to address the same question?
The question again.
What role can the government play to reduce stigma in sickle cell disease?
Oh, okay. I think since the government has policies on other diseases and sickness like the HIV, the malaria and stuff, I think it should also, to me, I see it as they don't see the urgent need to attend to sickle cell patients or the disease as a whole. They've taken it normal because you go, just as Christine was saying, you go to the hospital and you have to be in a queue. If there are 15 people before you, you have to wait, no matter how severe your situation is. Since nobody can see it, you are in there. So it gets to your turn. And sometimes the way the nurses and the health personnel will even address you or talk to you, sometimes you wish you'd be in the house and the pain will go away or the pain will worsen. It would have been better. So to me, I think the government should put in place measures. If an hospital will be established, or even the already established hospital, there will be a unit purposely for sickle cell patients, it will be better. I know we have, but it's not much. But if it can be in every hospital, it can be better. Sometimes you go to a hospital and the doctor who is coming to look after you or doesn't know anything about it. You don't know how to go about it. So what do? You have to either come back home or you'll be given some drugs that if your care is not taken, it's worsening your case. So I think the government should put measures in place, even if the already established health facilities, there will be a unit purposely for sickle cell disease, then it will go a long way to help.
Thank you, Enyumunyam. Isaac, is ignorance an excuse to stigmatize people with sickle cell disease?
I don't think so. Ignorance is not an excuse.
Why do you think so?
Because you knew it and then you are doing it.
Probably the person doesn't know it.
So you could have asked for education, or maybe for the one to explain things to you before you stigmatize him or her.
Okay. Christiana, is ignorance an excuse to stigmatize people with sickle cell disease?
No, it shouldn't be an excuse. Why do you have to stigmatize in the first place? Someone living with sickle cell disease or without, you don't have to stigmatize. So you can't use ignorance as an excuse. to stigmatize someone, living with it.
Okay. Anyimunyam, do you mind educating someone who stigmatized you in the past?
Sure.
You have the platform to do that.
All right. It might not be in the case of a sickle cell patient. Ask yourself, while we are living, anything can happen. Maybe I find myself in this situation and you see the need, or you have the power to say whatever that you have to say about me, to make me look inhuman. Ask yourself, what if in the near future you have an accident? What if in the near future you are unable to do something you were doing due to any form of illness or a disease? Will you be happy when someone also starts stigmatizing you, discriminating, or calling you names? We have an adage in Akan, say erere ofunensa na shawazi. In this life, we should know, so far as the table is rolling, so far as the dice is rolling, anything can happen. It can turn, the situation can turn, not for you to be in my place as a sickle cell patient, but you can find yourself in a situation that people will be mocking at you. Just ask yourself, will you be happy? How will you feel? Just put that into consideration. And let's stop stigmatization in any form. It's not right. It's not good. Thanks.
Thank you too. Before Christiana speaks to the same question, I would like to encourage everyone here to drop in your questions in the chat box. If you have any question that you wish to ask, please drop the questions now so that we can look at them before we get to the ending of the program. So, Christiana, I would like you to respond to the same question. Do you mind educating someone who stigmatized you in the past?
Yes, that's what I've been doing. But if I see that you don't want to listen, then I just move my way. That's it. I can't remember, someone told me that he have heard that I'm ST. He have heard that the C is somehow better than the S. So if I'm giving birth, I should try my possible best to give the C to my child. Just look at this. It means that he knows very well that it's something genetic and a child can inherit it. But I was like, what does it mean? Am I God to do this? But later I felt like, okay, I'm not going to talk with him that much, and I'm not telling him why I'm moving away or I'm not that close to him. But what I'll do is that since he have been looking at my status and other things, let me educate him on that. Then way back at school, I don't know, I wasn't sick. Nothing was wrong with me. But all that you could see was eyes, mouth, everywhere turning yellow. So whenever I get out from the dormitory, they'll be like, hey, when you join this and that. So I try my possible best to just either go to class late or I'll go early so that I'll not meet them. After quiz, I just left the school because I was preparing for quiz. So after quiz, I don't care whatever they are going to do over there. I just left, move on to find treatment to whatever was happening to me. But after I left, after graduation, I felt like, no, maybe they did that to me because they didn't know. So let me educate them about it. Tell them why sometimes we get that yellow eyes, lips, and other things. So it's cool to educate them. Maybe one day when someone is saying it, they may help you to deal with it.
Thank you, Christiana. Isaac, would you mind responding to the same question?
Yes, please.
Okay, go ahead.
I would like to educate them in some way, because right now I see most of the people watching my status, and I educate them through my status too, WhatsApp status.
But would you want to educate them on this platform as well?
Yes, please.
So you have the opportunity to do that. So please go ahead. What are you going to tell them?
I will tell them a lot of stuff about sickle cell.
Okay, so you want to educate them so that they know about sickle cell, and then they stop stigmatize you.
And then being tested as well also.
Okay. Enyimunyam, advise anyone who stigmatizes people living with sickle cell disease.
Okay, I think I've touched on it, and I'll say in every situation, it can turn. Not necessarily you being in my situation as a sickle cell patient, but it can turn. And when you have to deal with it, how people look at you, how people talk about you, how people see you, are you going to feel comfortable with it? Are you going to be okay with it? If not, then you should know whatever that you are doing to other fellow human, it's no good, and you need to put a stop to it.
Okay, Christiana, would you also respond to the same question? Christiana, are you there? Have I lost Christiana?
Hello.
Yes.
Okay. I said that what I would like to say is that if two people or two individuals are living with sickle cell disease, it doesn't mean it's going to affect them the same way. Because what I've experienced is that those who stigmatized me have a bit knowledge of it. Sometimes they'll be like, this person is SS, but she's not complaining as you do. Why is she not falling sick? What I want you to know, this lesson is that, yes, we could be both SS or SC, but it doesn't mean it's going to affect us the same way. It may depend on the amount of fetal hemoglobin or the percentage of S that the person is having or the percentage of C that the person is having. And more, how severe Adra is battling with his or a sickle cell disease might be different. Maybe him or she might complain with chest pain and something else. So if I'm okay and working, don't try to compare me with someone who have something severe than me, or that's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you to Christiana. I have a very good question from James in the chat box. So James wants to know, how has stigmatization impacted on your work output? Do you allow it to get at you? Anymunyang, please address this first.
Yeah, I think a similar question was put, and I was like, if I can do what you are doing at the workplace, I'm free to go. I won't let what you are saying, your stigmatization, affect the work I'm doing. If I'm not sick, that I can't do what I'm supposed to do, your stigmatization can never affect me. It will never have any impact on the work I'm doing. It's only when and even sometimes when I'm sick, I try to finish with whatever I'm doing. Then I go back to the hospital or I start with what I have to do. For me, stigma, it will never have impact on my work. Thank you.
Thank you to Christiana. Would you want to respond to
sometimes you try to be strong out there, but when you get home, that's when you see the crying or the motions and other things. Yes, I may say yes. It's have impacted my work positively. I know that definitely they are going to say I'm trying to avoid work, I'm lazy, I'm this. So what I do is that whenever I'm well, I try to do more than what I'm supposed to do so that when I break down, it's not going to affect it that much. But recently, I realized that that's also dangerous because I've been doing more than what is expected of me. I end up getting down at the end of the day. So to me, it's yes, it has impacted me. Just that it sometimes do get over me. We pretend to be strong. We laugh whenever someone says something home. You feel deep within you that yes, this thing is really having something on you. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Isaac, do you sometimes overwork just to avoid stigma?
Yes, please. I overwork just to avoid stigma because I don't want anybody to give such complaints. And after overworking, I make sure I go to the clinic as soon as possible.
Okay. Okay, so Anymunyam, how has overworking affected you in any way?
Bella,
Yes.
I won't overwork because of what you are saying. What is expected of me is what I will do.
Okay.
If for one or two reasons I can't do it, I'll just leave it because I'll be the one to finish it. So I won't let what you are saying or what you are doing get to me for me to overwork or not to do it. So for me, what I can do is what I'll do. Just as Christiana was saying, I'll never break down in front of you. But when I get to the house, I may cry, I may be sad, but that will not push me to do extra to show you that, yeah, I'm also, because at the end of the day, I'll feel the pains, not you. So I won't overwork.
Okay, thank you, Anymunyam.
You're welcome.
There is a chat in the chat box from Zoom user. Let me read. This is a contribution to what has been said already. Love must always be the underlying factor when dealing with such when dealing with such patients. I have a very close friend who is a patient, and recollecting the times he's had crisis. If it wasn't for the love around him, he would have been a memory by now. Let us let love lead. I also plead with such patients to allow themselves to be loved. Thank you. So that's a good message for everyone, for those who are not living with sickle cell disease, and then also those who are living with sickle cell disease. So if you're not living with sickle cell disease, let love lead. And then if you have sickle cell disease also, please allow yourself to be loved. Some people don't want to be loved.
We don't want to be loved.
Priska says, I love this, and I love it too. Okay, any contribution from people are still now joining, the latecomers? Any contribution from the audience at this point?
Della, can I be heard?
Yes, please.
Okay, so my little contribution is sometimes somebody is saying we should allow ourselves to be loved. You allow yourself to be loved, then the person ends up or turned back to rub it in your face. Okay, that's aside. So most of the times we try to close all windows and doors so that you won't get a chance to rub anything in our faces. And then also a lot I get people tell me that I'm confident, but what they don't know is I was like a victim of stigmatization because people were kids. My playmates were like, don't play with her, she's going to fall sick. And then I can't do what everybody is doing, so they end up saying, you do this and fall sick. So people also have been calling me names, like all sorts of names, Ochnamewu and all that. But the thing is, the moment I go back to my family and tell them so and so person say or said this about me, they'll just come, and if you are even battalion, they will fight all of you for me. So that gave me that kind of confidence, and also they made me feel like you are not less of a person, you are equal to everybody. So don't let anyone cheat you. So I would advise parents and guidance here that if you have a kid that is growing up with, it might not just be sickle cell, it could be other disease, and the child is suffering from. Because I remember a child had cancer in my class, and the year was just chopping off, and these kids would just be laughing and be pulling. Seriously, this is bad. So we have to teach our kids that we all can't be the same. We all can't be fat. We all can't be slim. Some people are slim, some people are fat. So if you see somebody that looks different from you, you don't have to laugh at the person. And if you have a child with a sickle cell disease too, what you have to do is to install confidence in them. Like make sure they feel good about themselves. Tell them they are beautiful. Encourage them always. Tell them they are the best. Like the whole class, they are the best. And words like that makes them feel equal. So even if they should hear something different outside, it doesn't have much impact on them. You can say everything you want to say about me, but seriously, it won't even touch my clothes, not to touch me there. And if I can deal with you right there and there, I don't care if you are ignorant about the situation. Because even if you are ignorant, do you have to laugh at somebody because the person looks different from you? We all can't have the same faces. We all can't have the same body. So you can't be saying that this and this. So please, parents here, make sure your kids feels good about themselves. Tell them they are beautiful. Tell them they are good. They are capable of anything. Let me just end there.
Thank you, Priska. That was inspiring. I have another chat here from James. The fear of being stigmatized by co-workers is a contributing factor to these issues. Before you know it, your medical record is all over the place. But that notwithstanding, we need to intensify education across board. Thank you, James. Any more contribution from our audience?
Yeah, Bella.
Yes, and
On what Priska was saying, recently I was facing the same problem with my niece. She's just 5. And there were these kids you place with all.
hello, Enyimnyam, are you there?
With broomsticks. So I brought it up on the page because it was a worry to me. And Friska gave some suggestions. We started using it, and now I think it's improving. So sometimes we shouldn't look at the age. We should just instill in them as they are going. Because if she knows she is slim and she's beautiful, slim person can do this, a slim person can do that, be judged. When someone say it, he or she will not feel hurt because he or she knows with her situation, she can still be whoever or whatever she wants to be. And sometimes we parents to contribute to the factors where our kids or words are being stigmatized. You will see a parent pushing the child at the least provocation, shouting, and when you are in a compound house and they get to know of this, though they might not know the situation, but they always hear you yelling at your child, shouting, calling him or her names, they will also jump into it because you are doing it. How much more them? So I think it should start from us. We should start showing them love. The immediate family, if the person knows, even if I go out and every sort of insult or stigmatization come to me, when I get to the house, I have people who loves me, I have people who are ready to embrace me. It won't get to them that much, so we should start from the house. Thank you.
Thank you, Enyimnyam. Any more contribution from our audience? Okay, if no contribution, right? Okay, Isaac, you want to speak?
I want to come in small.
Okay.
I will encourage them to stop.
I on the issue of stigmatization and
Yeah, please go ahead. I'm sure his network is not stable. So Isaac, you can proceed.
Okay, I will encourage them to stop because we are nice to be with. And the same work they can do, we can do more than they can do. So they should stop stigmatizing sickle cell people.
Okay, thank you, Isaac. The Zoom user, would you want to come again? Or your network is still not good? Okay, so I have a slide I wish to share with you on overcoming stigmatization. So I would quickly share that slide. Okay, here we go. Okay, this is effects. Yes, overcoming stigma. Many seek medical care. That's the first thing. Many people, because of stigma, they don't want to even go to the hospital because of how the nurses, the doctors, they treat them. So they will be sick, they will not be well, but they would like to treat themselves at home. So please seek medical care. Choose your words carefully. When you want to address others, choose what to say. Don't call yourself a stickler, and know how to speak to people so that they understand your condition, so they don't stigmatize you. Don't buy into the stigma. Don't accept it. It is not you. The disease is different from you. So don't just buy into the stigma. Don't isolate yourself. Like Isaac was saying that because of stigma, he likes to isolate himself. No, feel free and be yourself. You don't have to isolate yourself. Then choose empowerment over shame. Be strong at what you do, like what Enyunyam was saying. You know, she wants to, she's hardworking, she does everything that any other person can do. And even when she is not present at work, I mean, nobody would stigmatize her that, as for you, you are always not coming to work, you're always lazy. No, because whenever she's at work, she makes sure she does all that she has to do. And then you join a support group where members of the group share the same things in common. Everybody in the group understands each other. You share your experiences, you share your stories, and then you understand and learn from each other. That is what a support group does. So if you have sickle cell disease, you should try as much as possible to be part of a support group. And at Sickle Life, we have a support group. So if you are not a member, try and join Sickle Life support group. And then you will learn more about the disease and then know how to take good care of yourself and live your life to the fullest. Educate yourself and others. Yes, when you join the support group, you'll be able to educate yourself. And once you're able to educate yourself, you'll be able to educate others as well. Let's speak out against stigma. Speak out. Don't be shy off. Don't be like, as for me, no, you go and hide in one corner. No, speak out. Be bold like Priska, like Miss World. Yes, that is what I want to share with you about overcoming stigma. Any more contribution from our audience and
Bella,
everyone?
why do you have to use me as an example?
Oh yes, because I like your coffee. I admire your coffee a lot. That's why I used you as an example.
Stigma got nothing on me, right?
Sure. Enyunyam, you wanted to speak.
No, what Friska asked is what made me laugh.
Okay, that is fine. So
Let me talk about solution. Sometimes don't isolate yourself. Sometimes it's not about you isolating yourself, but you've done it for it to become a lifestyle. Let's look at something that you've been doing over the years for about 15 to 20 years. You grew up where you don't have the right to speak. And whenever you complain of being ill, they think you want to avoid work or something. So the only thing that you can do, or when you get yourself mingle up, when I was growing up, my brother was protecting me to the extent that if you lay a finger on me, when he comes back, he'll beat you. But when he wasn't there, I feel like, okay, the one who is going to protect me is no longer here. So when I go out there and mess up, they are going to beat me up. So let me find something doing in my room. And depending on your nature, not because of SCD, but who you are. You find something doing in your room and you get addicted to it. So you do it, we've practiced it over and over, maybe for about 20 years, and it has become a lifestyle. So whenever you are in your room or doing your own things, you may not feel like you are isolating yourself. You think like, that's me and that's how I've lived for the years. When I get out there, they're going to tell me bullshit. So let me be in my room. That's all. Sometimes. So if I'll go out, at least I must get something which is more interested out there than what I've been doing in my room. Sometimes people just see you and like, hey, you like learning, or you like playing game, you like doing this. I don't like doing it, but it has become part of me that I can't even stop. I don't want to go out there to meet them telling me whatever they think they know about me. That's it.
Thank you, Christiana. Isaac, your final words.
For me, my final words is it will be hard unless I practice to associate myself with people. It will be hard for me to bounce back.
Okay, your point is not clear. I don't know whether it's me that I didn't hear you well.
I said for me, it will be hard for me to associate myself with people unless I learn to do that.
But I think there's some improvement since you joined the support group, right? Because you engage a lot there.
Yeah, yes, please. Yes, please.
Is it because
Oh, please, he doesn't engage, Bia. I've been in his DM several times. Oh, feel me. It's still the same.
Miss Wed,
I I
are you sure
understand. It's
you have been
difficult
in
to
my DA?
several times. Please go and check your message. So I know it's difficult to open up just like that because most of the times you trust somebody with what is going on and the person will just, but this is the case. Like I'm also a part of you. I also have SS, so like I can relate. So in a way, open up small. Why? If we are in your DM, have
Maybe the
mercy on
things
us
you
and
can do,
answer.
maybe the things you can do, I cannot do. Do you get it? And
okay.
as for me,
Okay,
I'm the
we will
quiet
talk
type.
backstage.
I'm okay. I'm the
Okay.
quiet type. I don't.
Okay, Isaac, thanks
Alright.
for the contribution.
Yeah, Bella.
Christiana, your final words for us.
To everyone out there,
Yes, Christiana.
think positive about yourself, though sometimes it's hard to do it, but try as much as you can. Then to those who are not living with sickle cell disease, just understand that we can't be like you. You are different. You are good in your own ways, and I'm good. There's something that I can do that you can't. Just accept that. And just get it in your head that let's assume you're having also asthma, and I get out there and call you, hey, ulcer, hey, asthma, hey, blackie, hey, obolo. You wouldn't be happy with it. So don't do same to us. Thank you.
Thank you, Christiana. Ejimunyao, the final words.
Yeah, before my final word, I wanted to ask a question.
Okay.
If I isolate myself and I feel okay after that, is it also no good?
Okay, that's a good question. Safako.
Can I answer that?
And please, as you
Okay,
stop,
Sefako was trying to speak.
Safako wants to speak. Yes, Safako, go ahead.
You think it's good. You think you're feeling good about it. It's part of depression, it's part of stress. You're actually not feeling that you're feeling good. But psychology will tell you that
Your
you're
network
not
is
feeling
bad.
Okay,
Safako.
so what
Okay.
Sefako is trying to say, what Sefako is basically trying to say is you locking yourself up or you staying indoors, it leads to depression, and a psychologist will tell you that it's not a good thing to do. But then it's also a coping skill for us. You go out there and you are being bullied. Somebody might not be as sad as I am, because me, if you bully me, I'll bully you. If you stigmatize, I'll stigmatize you. So I basically give you the plate or a taste of your own medicine. And that for me, it's cool. So I can go anywhere I want. But somebody might not be as strong as me because obviously we are not raised from the same home and we haven't been exposed to the same situation. So staying indoor doesn't mean the person is depressed or something, but maybe when the person is inside, the person is watching a telly. It's not like the person is counting the ceilings in the room or just there crying. No, the person is doing something, playing a game on the phone, watching the movie, having a phone call with a friend. It's not bad. And no psychologist can tell me that this is a bad coping skills. It's also a coping mechanism. If you can't, there is this saying that if you can't beat them, join them. So if you think going out there would rather make, do you know that people get stigmatized to the extent that they start getting mental health illness because if they are on to me now dream and to me in fact the capacity of he or she being stigmatized. So why don't this same person be in a room and watch a telly and be okay? That is better than going out there to get bullied and get all those mental stuff. So in a way, it's good, but we are not saying it should be excess. Like, yeah, like you examples I gave earlier, you crying, staying in the room alone, asking God why. God, if you ask him thousand why, he will not mind you. So just focus on your life. Like look, look deep into yourself and look deep into yourself and find interesting things about you. Like me, I can be in front of my mirror for hours. So every day, if I'm going to school, I'm late. You might think I'm doing something. I'm not doing anything. I'm admiring myself. So, Masa, whatever you think will make you feel good, just do it. And you're not hurting anybody. It's cool.
I like
Thank you.
that.
Thank you
I
very
like that.
much.
And please stop calling us Ochnamewu.
I shock. Okay, so my final word today, public. To those of you who are fortunate not to be in our situation, I always say this: our hands are not equal, and you are unique in your own way. We are unique in our own way. Even twins born on the same day have different qualities and abilities. So if you find yourself wherever you are, thank God, thank your stars, but don't use your stage or where you are to discriminate, stigmatize, and bully others because of the situation they find themselves in. And to my fellow brothers and sisters, don't let stigmatization get to you. I know it's hard, it's difficult, it's not easy sometimes, but hey, that person has two legs, you also have two legs. So what's the difference? That person, when he finished bathing, he used towel to dry he or himself, him or herself. You also do the same. So what's the difference? If you can drink water, I can drink water. Whatever that you can do, I can also do it. Maybe I'm even better than you that you think, excuse my language in quote, you are normal. I may do certain things that you can't do. And I don't know if my analysis kakevi. Sometimes you are even intelligent than so-called or more almost there. But come on, in God's way, we don't know why it happens to us. That's what Prescott was saying. If you ask him why 1,000 times, he won't answer you. So accept who you are. Make good use of what you can do. Be proud of yourself. Love yourself. And I bet you, nothing can get to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Enyimuyam. Some participants joined us a few minutes ago whilst we are about ending. Probably they have a message for us. So if you have just joined us and you want to contribute to our discussion, please feel free to do so. Uncle Joe, are you there? Uncle Joe, would you like to speak? Okay, if Uncle Joe will not speak with us, then I thank everyone for spending time with us this evening discussing sickle cell and stigmatization. Let's all learn from what we have discussed today to guide us in dealing with people living with sickle cell disease. Not only with sickle cell disease, but anybody with any signs of disability or anybody that we see to be different in any way, please, let's not stigmatize them because you don't know tomorrow. I thank you all for your time. Have a good evening.
Same here.
Good evening. Good night. Bye.